MSc in Educational Research. Our project sort of emanated from something we did in one of our modules, interpretive methodologies. We had a little sort of project running there to see what students' experiences were of transferring to the MSc module. And what we decided to do, we decided to take some issues that arose from that study and look at them in more detail. What came out of the that was that we would look at 3 areas of student engagement with the course. One was the structure of the lecture sessions. We had 2 lots of 3-hour lectures starting at 5 and finishing at 8, which is the ubiquitous graveyard slot. Additional support sessions which were not compulsory but were not particularly well attended, and the virtual interaction, interactive learning with the Hive, which a lot of students were sort of muttering about and not feeling very happy with. Okay.
Yeah, so we decided to do a nice questionnaire of about 20 questions or so, which you'll see later on. And we decided to share among ourselves, the 3 of us. So myself, Jonathan, and Denise were looking at different areas of this. And we had 11 students on the campus answering these questionnaires out of the 14 of us. 3 of these students have English as their first language, the rest don't, so that means they are international students. So 30 questions consisting of all these different forms of questionnaire. And the first section, which was to do with the 3-hour session engagement, looking at preparation, duration, activities, and material. And then the second session, we were actually looking at the Hive and contributions that were made, groups, and difficulties and challenges that we're having on the Hives. And then the third session, we were talking about the support session, and we were looking at attendance, timing, and future planning.
Right. With the first section, the lecture sessions, we found that most students, not all, but most, were happy with the length of the sessions and the way that they were structured with breaks. What they didn't like was the fact that they started at 5 and finished at 8. And a strong preference was expressed for them to start between 9 and 10 in the morning instead of late in the evening. And so the recommendations that arose from that was that consideration would be given to when sessions start, or to be given for when sessions start. I mean, I know there are practical reasons why the sessions start at 5 to be able to, so that part-time students can come after work, but it's not the best time of day for concentrating most students. Engagement with the optional support sessions, these were timetabled on a Wednesday when we didn't have lectures, and they weren't very well attended, but those students who did attend them found them very useful. And the majority of students said that if they'd been timetabled to fit in with the other lectures, then they would have attended as well. So again, another timetabling recommendation, because people would have gone if they'd been at a different time.
Yeah, again, looking at the usefulness and the value of the Hive, questionnaire that we sent out, 7 out of the 11 students said that they actually use the Hive, every week, and some of them use it monthly, others use it randomly, but altogether means everybody was using it, which is very, very good. So our recommendation on that was the fact that hive was quite an essential tool for the students, maybe there will be very good, there will be good need for introduction of how to use the hive from the very beginning of the year, as well as time goes on within the modules, also to kind of draw students' attention to how, you know, the hive, the usefulness of the hive is. And then also we saw in that same vein that there were 7 out of 11 students were happy with the use of the hive. The interaction between those students in the on-campus and the distance students was very, very good. So we then have a lot of communication going on between, you know, the students, using that for assignments and things like that. So our recommendation on there were the fact that there should be a kind of mixture of groups, you know, so in terms of experience and maybe nationality, because with here having a lot of students from different, you know, parts of the world, so there will be very good idea of kind of doing a bit of mixture. The hive discussion generally helped, and this is the question we kind of asked, you know, to get to know other students on the course. And majority of them, that is 8 out of the 11, felt yes, that is really was very helpful. Preparing for assignments, 9 out of 11 were saying that yes, you know, it helped them to prepare assignments. And getting feedback on their own writing was half and half. But getting feedback on their own understanding, you know, majority of them said yes. And then the last, clarify course content, which is quite an important aspect of the whole thing. We've realized that 9 out of 11 were very positive about that. So our recommendations on that side, we felt that as the hive is quite an important kind of thing, development could be made clearer in terms of elements of getting and, you know, getting feedback from each other and things like that. So kind of making it much more stronger. Now the aspect of again the hive, things that were useful, you know, going into details of that is the varied contribution that, you know, students were getting and the perspective and things like that. Their knowledge was quite increased. As a result of that, they were able to discuss, you know, assignments and work and things like that, and also exchange a whole lot of ideas. On the negative note, some members refuse to actually take part in the discussion. And then also, very small groups make a discussion ineffective, you know, where the groups are not many in there, and there's a bit of time, and some of them felt that it's time consuming. So we, you know, recommended that, you know, maybe there have to be pairing between compound and the campus students and those in the. So where we have got to with this work that we did was the fact that, you know, we shared it among ourselves. We then did a presentation to the MSc module leaders. Then the recommendations were refined, and then we also shared it with the MSc staff team. And then from that, they discussed recommendation and they responded, and then as a result of that, we have these changes.
Right. Well, Sandy or Dr. Allen, very kindly or whatever, has taken note of all of these findings and has promised to look at changing some things for next year. She also did some sort of survey with the distance students, and she's put what our findings and her findings from that together and has come up with these conclusions. She's going to revise the strategy for the use of technology. I mean, I think what students were saying about their engagement with the hive was that in theory they thought it was an excellent idea, but in practice this year it didn't always work as they wanted it to work. And one of the reasons was that we felt it just something else to do, where it could have been a lot better. So hopefully in the future that will be looked at. Another thing that came out of that was that we didn't get a lot of feedback on our assignments throughout the year. We had 2 assignments due after Christmas, within 2 weeks of each other. So we really had to wait till, you know, sort of into the second term before we got any real feedback. The feedback that we got from peers online on the Hive tended to be kind. Students don't like to be rude to one another, and so a lot of the feedback wasn't really constructive. It was, oh, well, I thought that point was very interesting, but not your writing was sloppy and I couldn't follow your argument and what you're talking about. So more feedback from an earlier stage, because we didn't get any feedback on the first assignment before we had to submit the second one. So a new set of online teaching, study skills and employability resources. I suppose that must have come out of the survey with the distance students. And ongoing